In this video, I'll tell you how I get the most out of the Apple Sleep Mode. And if you're not familiar with it, it is a mode that turns off the always on display on the Apple Watch and on the iPhone. It also turns on the tracking of your sleep on the Apple Watch, and it blocks all unwanted notifications so that you don't get disturbed throughout the night. You can actually allow some people to go through if you have family members that you want to be able to call you through the night. But this is the purpose of it. And there are already built-in automations on the iPhone to turn this on and off. And the way that works is based on a set schedule. So say that you typically go to bed at 11 o'clock and then you want to sleep for 8 hours, then it'll automatically turn on the sleep mode during that time. And that might work well for some people who have a very strict schedule. But if you're like me, who sometimes go to bed at a different time or whatever, it's not really super nice that all of a sudden your phone is turned off, basically. So therefore, I disabled this automatic feature and had to go with manually turning it on and off. And that's also not really nice because you might actually end up forgetting to put your phone or your watch on sleep mode, and then the Apple Watch won't track your sleep, and also you will get this unwanted lights from the different sensors in the Apple Watch, and then you'll have to do it and you're sort of like half asleep. So it's not nice. And then I was thinking, is there another way I can automate this? And sure there is. Actually, you can automate a bunch of stuff using Apple shortcuts based on various triggers happening on the phone. For example, that you put your phone to the charging stand. And that's super nice. So that's what I did. But I also didn't want the phone to go to sleep mode all the time, every time I put it to charging. So what I came up with was sort of like a specific condition that if it happens between 10 o'clock in the evening and 2 o'clock in the morning, to just have a sort of safe time frame, whenever I put my phone to charging there, it will automatically put it into sleep mode. So here I am in the Apple Shortcuts app. In the middle tab called Automations, that's where you can set this stuff up. And in the very bottom, I have the one I'm using to automate my sleep mode. If you see in the top, it says it runs immediately whenever I'm putting my phone to charging. You can also choose to do it after a certain confirmation, but I think then you add more steps. I don't like that. Here I clicked into what happens when you put it to charging, and the first 3 steps is finding the time frame of 10 in the evening from now, and then to 2 o'clock in the morning tomorrow. And even if I put it on the charging stand at 1 o'clock tomorrow, basically, I still want the time frame to happen from the evening of yesterday to tomorrow. It's a bit complicated how to explain it, but basically I want always the time frame to be the evening of tonight or yesterday night, and I don't want it to set a timer tomorrow. This is sort of difficult to explain, but basically, let's say I put on the charging stand at 1 o'clock. It subtracts 4 hours to that so that I get the date of yesterday. And then it adjusts the time to 10 o'clock yesterday as my starting reference and add 4 hours to that, so we get back to 2 o'clock in the morning tomorrow. And I use those time frames as my references, and then in the 4th step I put in the current time, which is the exact time right now, and see, is this time between those 2 time frames, and if it is, it turns on the sleep mode. I hope you got so far what I was telling you about this, but otherwise hit me up in the comments if this didn't make any sense. Otherwise you can probably just read what's on screen now and try to make sense of it. But basically I just don't want it to check if it's 10 o'clock tomorrow night. I want it to be yesterday's night. And so yeah, it has to, you have this specific time frame between now and with a buffer. Yeah, check it out, see if it makes sense. I also have a bonus tip for you. So whenever I put my phone to sleep mode, I also put the volume at 0% and the brightness at 0%. And just in the case that you're not fully sleeping yet, maybe you're checking out a YouTube video, whatever, that you don't accidentally wake up your girlfriend or your other family members in the house. Yeah, that's not really ideal. So therefore, if this is put to 0%, that won't happen accidentally. And another thing I want to mention is how I get sleep mode turned off. Because if you don't manually turn it off, it'll just stay on unless you have some other automation. And I actually made an automation for that. So for example, 8:45 every day, if I haven't done it myself, it will then automatically turn off sleep mode on the phone. I made a similar one. So let's say in the case I have to wake up at 7 o'clock or 6 o'clock, if any alarm goes off, then I do the same. So you can see here, when an alarm goes off, turn off the sleep mode. So yeah, that's all there is to it.